Welcome. Today we're going to continue the practice along the theme of the month, which is grounding and earth, the element of earth. And so this practice will be a full elemental yoga journey where we start in stillness, we start with some seated practices, and then we slowly come up into a movement flow, and then we come back down into some seated practices to end the practice. So make sure you have the props that you need to sit comfortably, and let's begin. Okay, so hands to namaskar in front of the heart, rubbing the palms together. Thanking ourselves for showing up today and for surrendering into all the practices that we're going to do today. Okay, we're going to start with 3 ohms. Inhaling up. And lower your hands to your knees. Slowly open your eyes and come into this space. Okay, so we're going to start with a cleansing and detoxifying kriya, Sudarshan kriya. This is a simple kriya where we pump the navel and alternate the breathing. And so we're going to be using the right hand to open and close the left and right nostril. And so the right thumb is on the right nostril, the left ring finger, or the right ring finger is on the left nostril, and then the index and middle finger are just resting on the third eye here. So it's going to be like this. And so we're going to inhale through the left nostril first, and then we're going to hold the breath while we pump the navel 11 or 21 times, whichever is more comfortable for you. And so it's going to be we're just moving the navel towards the spine and going at a very steady pace. We're not trying to rush through it. So we do that, and then at the end of the 11 or 21, we exhale through the right nostril by closing the left with the ring finger. And then on the exhale, we hold the breath out and we pump the same number, 11 or 21, whichever you did on the first side. And then we inhale through the right nostril, and then holding the breath, we pump again the same number, or whatever you chose. And so we'll just go back and forth for a few minutes, Sudarshan kriya, and let's begin. Inhaling through the left nostril, closing the right with the right thumb. It always helps to have a relatively empty stomach when practicing these pumping kriyas. So ideally, You should be practicing these journeys in the morning after a little tea, maybe a small snack or something, or in the evenings after you've had lunch a while back or something. 30 more seconds here. And after this round, letting go of the mudra, breathing normally, sit quietly with your eyes closed. As we begin the practice, just noticing how you're feeling. You know, we practice yoga to help us enter the state of yoga and have the experience of yoga. And so what that means is that we're seeking to more consistently have an experience, the direct experience of unity, of oneness, you know, with everything, with totality, with everything around us, with our higher selves, total unity state. And the more we can enter that state, the more we can shift our default state when we're not practicing yoga. That's a huge benefit of the practice. And a big part of that is transcending the ego, developing a more appropriate relationship with the ego. We're not trying to eradicate the ego. We're trying to work with it, refine it, put it in its place, use it as a tool. So this next practice, Ego Conqueror, is directly targeted at that goal. And in this one, we're going to bring our arms up at 60 degrees. The hands will be in fists with the thumb inside the fingers. So it's a little, if you practice Kundalini yoga, it's a little different. Arms are up, and then we're going to be pumping the navel, practicing breath of fire. And so all that is it's sort of like Bhastrika. It's sort of like other pranayama you may have done. But in this one, we're going to start by inhaling halfway through the nose, and then just pumping. So we're forcing the breath out with an exhale. It's kind of like Kapalabhati breath. Just like that, okay? So, arms up at 60 degrees. Let's begin. Keep going. Try to keep those arms up at the 60 degrees. If they start to come down a little bit, just set the intention. Keep going. At the beginning, you may notice there's resistance to any kind of exertion with the arms up. But you'll be surprised, you can actually keep your arms up for much longer than it feels like you can. 20 more seconds. You can do it. And inhale the arms. Keep them up. Open the palms. Hold the breath. And lower the arms, exhaling, sitting quietly. Deep breaths. Starting to feel the prana moving. Deep, deep breaths. And of course, the prana is just the life force, the energy that is organizing every activity in your body, conscious and unconscious. And so from that standpoint, the more we learn to refine and work with the prana, the more we are directly tapped into it and in connection with it, the more it can positively influence the operation of our whole being. So be with that for a while. Bring that into your space of your practice and think about how important it is to do these energetic practices for that reason. Okay, so again, because the theme this month is grounding, we're going to practice some grounding practices today. And one of those is a kriya called Alak Niranjan. Alak Niranjan is a very traditional mantra from India that is dedicated to sort of, it's a grounding mantra, but it's also a Shiva mantra. So with this mantra, we're going to be working with the muladhara. That's the root lock where you draw the perineum up using the muscles around that area. And we're going to be chanting the mantra as we take our hands into a mudra. And so the mudra is where the tips of all the fingers and the thumb kind of come together like this, okay? And so as we're doing this, we're also drawing in the root lock. So they're sort of mirroring each other. Okay. And so we're going to be doing that, root lock, bringing the mudra in as we chant Alak, A-L-A-K, Alak, and then Niranjan as we release the root lock and release the mudra. Okay. So it's a relatively forceful practice. We'll do this for a few minutes. Your eyes are closed. Your attention is at your base of your spine in the first chakra. Sitting tall, sitting comfortably, shoulders relaxed, arms just lowered by the side. Okay. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And let's begin. Inhaling. Alak Niranjan. Alak Niranjan, Alak, 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 Niranjan, and inhale, hold, take the root lock, hands are on the legs, and exhale. Keep your eyes closed, breathing, feeling your sit bones on the earth. Taking your attention to your whole body. Just be here now. with everything that's going on right now in the world and in America in particular. It's so important to ground, but also to help transcend our own limitations and to become more powerfully present, just more sort of solid on the earth, you know. And so that's a lot of what we're going to work with today as well. So let's move our props out of the way and start to come onto our hands and knees. Okay, so coming onto your hands and knees, we'll practice a little cat-cow. So gazing up as you arch the spine and then rounding the spine, lowering the head. It's a very simple practice, but one that is so good for warming up the spine. Okay, we're going to come through down dog, so tucking the toes, pushing back. Taking a few breaths here. And then step to the top of the mat. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, fold forward. Inhaling all the way up. Hands in front of the heart. Samastitihi. Inhale the arms up. Fold forward. Step the right foot back. Lower the right knee. Coming into a modified sort of runner's lunge. So this is like a low lunge here, but we keep the hands on the floor and just kind of folding forward, or like letting ourselves kind of fall forward into our left thigh as we feel a stretch in the right hip flexor. And then tucking the back toes, coming through into plank. We'll hold plank for a few breaths. And then coming through knees, chest, chin. Coming into a low cobra. And then pushing back, coming through child's pose. Taking a breath. And then tucking the toes, pushing back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then stepping the right leg forward, returning to that modified low lunge with the hands on the floor. If you can't come that far forward, you can come onto your fingertips. And then tucking the left toes, stepping forward, folding forward. Then clasp your hands behind you. Stretching up over the head. And then lowering the hands to the floor, inhaling all the way up. Inhale the arms up. Let's do one more round of classical Surya Namaskar. Stepping the left foot back, lowering the left knee, untucking the toes. Inhaling the arms up over the head, Anjaneyasana. Exhaling the hands down, stepping back to your plank. You can lower the knees to the ground, but we're going to bring our forearms to the floor. Coming into forearm plank. Again, you can lower your knees if you need to. We're going to stay here for 1 minute. Try to keep that body in a line. Breathing into your core. This is another one of those poses where you can do it for longer than it seems. Part of the key to this pose is backing off on the amount of effort you're using. You don't have to try to power through it. You can just kind of use half the effort and still maintain the structural stability of it. Tucking the tailbone towards the heels. Okay, and then pushing back up into plank. And then coming into Adho Mukha. Take a breath here. Take a couple breaths. And then let's step the left foot forward, coming into our low lunge on that side. Gazing up slightly. Anjaneyasana. Anjaneya, the mother of Hanuman. Hanuman, the infinitely powerful, who was always forgetting his own power and having to act on faith. And exhaling the hands back down, stepping to the top, folding forward, and coming all the way up. We're going to practice warrior breath 1. So wide stance, feet are about 45 degrees, pointed out. Feet are under the knees. Yeah. So the hands will be in front of the face, a little bit apart like this. It's going to be a 2-part inhale and a 2-part exhale. So as we inhale, the hands come into fists and the arms go out to the sides. And then we exhale through the mouth. Okay? So let's begin. We'll do this for a couple minutes. Last one. Straighten the legs, open the palms towards the front, gaze forward, eyes open, deep breaths. Tapping into our prana, working more directly with our prana. You know, with all these practices, you should go all the way and practice fully, but you should also respect your own boundaries, your own limitations physically, and back off if you feel any physical discomfort, any pain for sure. So just honor that. You know, there's definitely a balance between going all the way and pushing yourself too far. So you gotta learn to find your own place there. Okay, back to the top of the mat. We'll practice Surya Namaskar A. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, look forward. Step the feet back. Coming through Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha, upward dog. Or you can do Cobra again. And Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths here. Inhaling the right leg up. Step it forward between the hands. Coming into high lunge, crescent lunge. Back leg is strong. Right knee is over the right ankle. hands to prayer in front of the heart. And hands to the mat. Stepping back, coming through your chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha, and Adho Mukha. Take a few breaths here. Inhale the left leg up behind you. And then step that forward, coming up into your other crescent lunge, other side. Breathing. Your back heel is off the floor. Back leg is strong. And then hands down. Step back. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. And Adho Mukha. And then looking towards the top of the mat, step or jump to the top. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, fold forward. Inhaling all the way up. Okay, coming back to your wide stance. We're going to practice warrior breath 2. If you were with us last time, we did this one last time. Just continuing to work with the prana, really activating here. In this one, we're going to be bending forward from the hips, tall spine, as we scoop up prana from the earth. And then bring our hands into fists at the sides. And then we straighten the legs as we reach up. And then we cross the arms in front of us as we bring our hands back to this position. And then sweep the hands out with the palms open towards the floor. So 2-part inhale, 2-part exhale, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. And let's begin. Straighten the legs, gaze forward, palms open, breathing. Okay, coming back to the top of the mat, inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look forward. Step the feet. Chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha, and Adho Mukha. Inhale the right leg up behind you. Bend the knee and open the hip. And then straighten that leg. Stepping forward. Coming into Virabhadrasana 1. Grounding through both feet. Right knee over right ankle. Back leg strong. Hips are square towards the top of the mat. It's helpful if you take the feet a little bit wider this way on the mat to help the hips go more forward. The very traditional Iyengar approach is to have the feet in a line, but most people's hips are not that open. Okay. And then clasping the hands behind you. Coming forward into humble warrior. Try to keep that right hip in. Inhale back up, arms over the head. And exhale, stepping back. Coming through your vinyasa, chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha, and Adho Mukha. Inhale the left leg up behind you. Step it forward. Grounding through that back heel. Virabhadrasana 1, other side. Deep breaths here. Clasping the hands, using the opposite grip. Opening the chest slightly towards the sky as you then come forward. Grounding through both feet, all four corners of both feet. All right, coming back up. Hands down. Coming through your plank. We'll stay in plank for a breath. Couple breaths. Engaging in the core. And chaturanga. Urdhva mukha. And adha mukha. Okay, looking forward between the hands. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling all the way up. Samastitihi. Hands forward. Breathing. Okay, we're going to practice warrior breath 3. And this one, we're going to inhale in 2 parts, scooping up twice from the earth, and then we bring the hands down by the side as we start to engage every muscle in our body except for our face. Okay, so it looks like this. We're holding the breath here. And then exhaling, straightening the legs. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of warrior breath 3. One more time. Strong legs, gazing forward. Through the practice, we're creating space inside. Okay. Stepping back to the top of the mat. Inhale the arms up. Exhaling forward. Inhale, look forward. Step to the back of the mat. Coming through chaturanga, urdhva mukha, and adho mukha. Inhale the right leg up behind you. Bring the knee towards the nose, coming forward over the shoulders over the wrists. And then bring the right leg back up. Right knee to right bicep. I guess that's tricep. Inhaling back up and twisting out to the side. Right knee to left tricep. And then inhaling back up. And then take the right knee forward and then the right foot out to the side as you bring the left foot on the floor. And then lift the hips towards the sky. Both legs are strong and engaged. Drunken triangle. Opening towards the sky. And bring the left hand back down. Step back. Down dog. Come through. Vinyasa. Urdhva mukha. Adho mukha. One more vinyasa. Chaturanga. Urdhva mukha. Adho mukha. Now the left leg up behind you. Left knee to the nose. Back up. Left knee to left tricep. And back up. Left knee to right upper arm. And back up. And then right knee, or left knee, comes in, and then step the left foot out. Coming into drunken triangle on the other side. Breathing deeply. And then the right hand comes down. Coming into your down dog, take a breath. And then lower the knees out to the edges of the mat, coming into child's pose. Forehead on the floor. Sit bones go towards the heels. And then tucking your toes, pushing back, Adho mukha. Inhale the right leg up behind you. Step it forward between the hands, coming into Virabhadrasana 2. Feet are in a line, both feet are grounded. Arms are extending out from the shoulders. The hips are open towards the side of the mat. Gazing out over the right fingertips. And then coming forward, Parsvakonasana. Right forearm on right thigh. If you have a more advanced variation, you can take that. Just gazing up slightly towards the right bicep. You're making a straight line down to your left foot here. And then coming back up to Vira 2. And then opening, reversing the warrior. Resting your left hand gently on your left leg. Don't put any pressure on the knee. You can put it on the thigh or lower down. Keep that right knee over the right ankle. And then come back to Vira 2. Straighten the right leg. Bending it once again. We're going to practice Arjuna. Arjuna is a kriya, standing kriya. So in this one, we're going to imagine that we're Arjuna from the Bhagavad Gita, who is a great archer, and he has a bow. And so we're going to be practicing a variation of this, where we're going to be, on the left hand, we're going to have the thumb inside the fingers. On the right hand, the thumb is pointed up. We're going to be gazing at that thumb as we straighten the leg and pull the bow back. Our left elbow is going back towards the back of the mat as we inhale through the nose. And then we exhale through the mouth as we bend the knee again, and then sweep the hand around to meet the right hand. So let's begin. You imagine you're letting go of the arrow at the back. Gazing at the right thumb. Straightening on the inhale. Bending the knee on the exhale. And then taking the hands to namaskar in front of the chest, straighten both legs. And then turning towards the right foot. Bringing the hands to the mat, step back. Do plank. We'll hold this for a few breaths. Legs are strong. Shoulders over, elbows over wrists. Small external rotation of the arms. Chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha, and Adho Mukha. Deep breath here. Grounding through the hands. Fingers are spread. Okay, inhaling the left leg up. Step it forward. Coming into Virabhadrasana 2. On the other side. Okay. Arms are long, shoulders are down. Legs are strong. Left knees over left ankle. Coming into your Parsvakonasana. Side angle pose. Back to Vira 2. Reverse. Try to keep that left knee over the left ankle. Keep that right leg strong. Extended, engaged. Gazing up slightly. Feeling a side stretch. Making sure you're not twisting to one side. Maintaining that single plane here. Coming back to Vira 2. Straighten the left leg. Breathing. And then bending the leg once again. Arjuna. So right thumb inside the fingers. Left thumb is up and you're gazing at the left thumb. Inhaling as you straighten the leg. Exhaling through the mouth. Keep that right elbow going straight back. And then hands, namaskar in front of the chest, straighten left leg and right leg. And then turning the feet parallel, hands to hips. Feet out 45 degrees, palms towards the sky, goddess pose. Start to bounce a little bit. Just letting yourself feel this moment. And just moving however you feel. Breathing. Tapping into that feeling of total freedom. Total freedom. How often do we let ourselves just feel unconstrained? Such an important practice. Okay. Hands to hips, feet parallel. Come into Prasarita, Padasana. You can place your hands on the mat. Just let yourself fold forward. Legs are engaged. If you're up higher, that's okay, as long as you feel stretch in the back of the legs. You can walk the hands back behind you. Shake the head out. Breathing. Okay. And then extending the spine long. Walk the fingertips forward a little bit. And then bring the hands to the hips and come back up. And then walk the feet in a little bit. Okay, we're going to practice Bimha. Bimha, this is a moving practice that's going to help us to really just get in there and plant our feet in the ground, transcend our limitations, and just feel ourselves fully, okay? So this one, we're going to be working with a mantra and a movement. And so we're going to be striking our elbow into our palm like this as we stomp that foot, okay? And we chant hot, H-A-T, hot. And then we go to the other side, same thing. So it's like hot, hot, okay? And then we come to the middle and we place our hands on our thighs and chant Hari, H-A-R-I, okay? So it looks like this. Hot, hot, Hari, hot, hot, Hari, hot, hot, Hari, hot, hot, Hari, hot, hot, Hari. Okay. If you haven't already started, let's start. Okay. Hot, hot, Hari, 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 hot, hot, Hare, 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 and then open, straighten the legs. Deep breaths. Okay, we're going to practice a layup movement. This is called Sufi heart. This is a Sufi practice, actually, from the Sufi tradition. And so we'll start with our feet about hip width apart. The hands come to the heart, left hand on the heart, and then right on top. It's a meditative movement, so we're just going to be moving slowly with our eyes closed, but watch me first. You're going to start to bend your knees as you sweep the right hand out in front of you very slowly. Don't worry about the breath. Let the breath take care of itself. And as it comes back around, sweep the left hand out, bending the knees. And as it comes back to the heart, the knees straighten a little bit or all the way. And then sweeping the right back out. Just dropping into this movement. Total surrender. Don't get your own pace. Approaching the practice as if this is the only practice we're going to do for the rest of the class. There's no other thing to get to. There's no end state. See if you can go even more slowly. Okay, and then after this round, so finishing your sweep with the hand, come back to your heart and just straighten the legs, keep the eyes closed, and breathe into the heart space. The heart center is the most powerful chakra. And it only grows stronger through softness and vulnerability and openness. Okay, now inhaling, point to the top of the mat, back into Tadasana, inhaling the arms up, and exhaling forward. Inhale, look forward, and then step the feet back to the back of the mat. Let's come through knees, chest, chin as we come to the cool down phase. Take a higher cobra, and then coming back into your down dog. And then inhale the right leg up behind you. Then step it forward. Coming into high lunge once again. And then from here, hands to namaskar. And then start to shift the weight forward over the right foot. As you then push off slowly with the back foot, coming into your Virabhadrasana 3. You can keep the hands in namaskar in front of the heart, or you can extend the arms out in front of you, or you can clasp the hands behind you. And then slowly moving back into your high lunge. And lowering the hands. Stepping back. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. And Adho Mukha. Take a breath. Inhale the left leg up behind you. Step it forward. Coming up. Crescent lunge. Hands to Namaskar. Shift the weight forward slightly. And then lift off. The back leg is strong. Taking whatever arm variation you like. Standing leg is strong. And then stepping that right foot back. Back to your high lunge. And hands to the mat. Coming through your chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. And Adho Mukha. And then looking between the hands. Coming into a seated position however you like, so you can kind of come over the ankles like that, or you can sit back onto your heels and then scoot the feet out and come bring the legs around. So that would look like this. Okay. Coming into Dandasana. So the palms are on the floor next to your hips, tall spine, your feet are flexed, legs engaged. And then bring that right knee in towards the chest, drop that out to the side. Tucking the right foot into the upper inner left thigh. Inhaling, arms up. Turning ever so slightly towards the left foot and then coming forward. Janu Shirshasana. Try to maintain a long spine here. You can round a little bit, but you're more focused on the stretch in the hamstring and the calf. So you're flexing the left foot. And just coming as far forward as feels comfortable. If you have a strap and you need it, you can use that instead, or a towel, or you can just bring the hands to the mat. Breathing into the hamstring. Inhale the arms up. Bring the right knee in with the hand. And then changing sides. Left. Sole of the left foot into the right thigh. Inhaling up, turning ever so slightly towards the right foot. And coming forward. And coming back up, bring that left knee in with your left hand. Extend both legs out in front of you. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor, and then walk the hands back a little bit with the fingertips pointed towards the feet. And then just lift the hips up into tabletop. You can lower the head back if it feels okay on your neck. Lifting the hips towards the sky. And lowering back down. Okay. Now we're going to practice cow face pose, Gomukhasana. And so we'll bring the left heel towards the outer right hip. And then the right knee is stacked on top of the left knee. If you need to, you can lift the hips off the floor to get the knees stacked. And if they don't stack completely, that's okay too. The feet are out to the sides. tall spine. And then from here, you can start to come forward a little bit, maintaining the length in the spine. And if you can come forward even more, you can round a little bit. Just feeling a stretch in the outer hips, outer right hip in particular. And inhaling back up, we're going to change legs. You can change the legs the linear way, or you can lift up and then walk around like that. Some yoga tricks. Okay, so you're bringing that right foot towards the left hip, not all the way. I mean, if try to find your happy place. And then you're going to stack the knees. And so the feet should be out a little bit. I mean, it's going to depend on your openness here. So just find where it feels like you're getting a reasonable amount of stretch, but not feeling any pain or discomfort here. So once again, lengthening and then folding. And coming back up, tall spine. Okay. So we're going to bring the left foot back into the outer right hip, and then bring the right foot outside of the left knee as we come into a tall spine here. We plant our right hand behind us like a kickstand, so it's helping us maintain the length. We're just twisting out to the right. You can wrap your arm around the thigh like this. You can bring it out like this, just gazing softly towards the back of your mat. Try to keep both sit bones on the floor. Okay. And then turning back to the front, changing the legs. Left foot comes in towards the outer left hip. Sorry, the right foot comes into the outer left hip. Left foot goes outside the right knee. And you're just twisting. Taking whatever arm variation you feel the most comfortable in. Breathing into the outer hip. And coming back to the front. From here, we're going to take Baddha Konasana for a few breaths. So the soles of the feet together, the knees fall out to the sides. Tall spine. Once again, you can come forward a little bit if it's in your practice, but maintain the length in the spine. And coming back to neutral. Take the knees in with your hands. Hug your knees into your chest and just lower the forehead to the knees. And let's make our way back to our comfortable seat, taking whatever props you need to sit comfortably. Tall spine, neutral pelvis. This state of yoga comes from the practice of yoga. It's something we have to practice. So we're going to practice Kali Kriya, and Kali is the goddess of conquering the ego, cutting through illusion, transcending the body and time, and many, many things. But we're going to be working with that energy here to further help us to let go of whatever is not serving us, and to help us to ground a little bit more here too. So we're going to be working with the mantra of Kali, which is just Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Okay. We're going to be just grinding through the hips a little bit here as we chant, okay? So we'll do this for a couple of minutes. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. 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 Change the direction of the hips. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. 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 And then come to stillness. Keeping the eyes closed. Breathing. Returning to that sense of liberation and freedom and a certain kind of untethered feeling in a positive way. Floating in your own spaciousness. So, the classical tantric view is that all of existence is simply an expression of love. Even pain. Even pain is just an expression of love. Of course, there's also suffering, which is the optional part, where you're adding unnecessary additional components to the pain. But the pain itself, everything is just love. Right? So let's foster that feeling now that we've sort of liberated ourselves a little bit. Let's move into this space of just being pure love. Okay. So we're going to practice Aham Prema, which is another mantra kriya. Aham Prema just means I am love. So Aham Prema, Prema, Prema. So we'll have our hands over our head, fingers interlaced, palms facing down. Arms are long, spine is tall. We're going to be making very small circles from the hips. So the whole torso and arms are moving in one unit as we chant the mantra. Okay, so Aham Prema, Aham Prema. So let's begin. Eyes are closed. Attention is on your heart center. Inhaling. Aham Prema. 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 And lower the arms, come to stillness. Keep your attention on the heart center. I am love. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. I don't know about you, but that one made me a little emotional. And of course, the practice of yoga may help you feel things. It's totally okay. I think the practice of yoga, in large part, is helping us to make a safe container for us to feel our feelings. Right? I still remember my first teacher training, I don't know, 11 years ago, and just being in there and in pigeon pose, of course, and just crying. The whole row of trainees was crying. Yeah, that was one of the first times in my life I really felt held and safe, and accepted. So it's the power of yoga. Okay, let's move into a space of bliss and joy. So we're going to practice Sat Chitananda Kriya, another mantra kriya. A lot of mantra kriyas today. In this one, we're going to work with 3 mudras as well. And so we're going to start with Hiranyagarbha mudra, which is the unmanifested cosmic womb. And then we're going to be coming up into Kamala mudra, so moving from the root and the unmanifest into a space of love and then expansion. Okay, so we'll be chanting the mantra as we move through the kriya, making a rainbow at the end like that with your hands. Okay, so the mantra is Sat Chit Ananda. Okay, and Sat Chit Ananda simply means the truth of our being is total consciousness, which is blissful. So truth, consciousness, bliss. Okay, so this is helping us to cultivate that inherent bliss nature that's basically our true essence that we just have to strip away all the impediments to. Okay. So tall spine. Let's begin. So inhaling through the nose. You can close your eyes and just have your attention on the moving. It's a moving drishti, a moving dharana as we move through. So moving from wherever the mudra is. Okay. Sat Chit Ananda. Feel free to smile at the end. Sat Chit Ananda. 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 Sat. Chit. Ananda. Sat. Chit. Ananda. Sat. Chit. Ananda. And letting go of the mantra, the mudras, sitting quietly. Letting yourself feel joy, being joy. You know, the psychologist Gay Hendricks, he has this concept called the upper limit problem. And he's pointed out that so many people, for whatever reason, have a limit to how good they'll let themselves feel. And as soon as they hit that limit, then they kind of shut it off. They stop themselves from feeling even better. And so I think a huge part of what yoga does as well is it helps us to change to move the upper limit higher, right? And eventually eradicate it. So that's part of what we're doing in this practice, is we're expanding our limitation on how good we can feel. Okay. So I invite you to take meditation or shavasana after the video as usual. But in the meantime, let's close out the practice. So bring the hands to namaskar. Close the eyes and chant with me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. We are totality. Ain't that the truth? Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you next time.